Anyway, so yes, it will encounter entry interface at 122 kilometers or 76 miles up, traveling over 38,000 kilometers an hour or just under 24,000 miles per hour. Not a speed record, but close. And then reach that peak.
Houston concurs.
Then reach that peak heating about a minute after. It will dip into the atmosphere, a small bump upwards. It will do some roll reversals to help slow itself down. The crew experiencing a max load, if all goes well, of just under 4 Gs. And then begins the parachute deploy sequence, of which 11 total parachutes over different times and uses will be deployed, including ones for the forward bay cover, the ones to help bring out the drogue chutes, and then the ones that will be used to bring out the 3 main chutes. Under 4 minutes to go. Gorgeous live views of the Earth from onboard Orion. And if you've seen the views from the International Space Station in comparison, you can really get an idea of the speed at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, already getting close to that altitude of the ISS now.
Yes, the ISS is about 250-ish or 400-ish kilometers up in altitude.
It's just going so much faster than the ISS.
ISS going 17,500 miles per hour. This will be going just under 24,000 when it hits the atmosphere.
It's currently around that right now, according to the numbers we're seeing on screen.
Under 3 minutes. We're now about 16 and a half minutes from home. Everything appears to be looking good so far. Crew has been in great spirits this whole time. All suited up, ready to go.
Ready to get home.
There will be a slight loss of signal, of which we will lose this video, and we will keep an eye out and wait for that reacquisition of signal. There are multiple aerial assets out at sea in the Pacific near where this will be splashing down. This again splashing down off the coast of San Diego, although a bit farther out in the Pacific Ocean. So there's a chance that maybe someone will see it, but highly unlikely that you'd be able to see it from California at this point.
I might add that those crews that are going to be part of the recovery team have been working on this for years and are well prepared. There's going to be a crew of divers that meet them, along with inflatable dinghies, boats, with the helicopter team that's being sent out there from the Combat Squadron 23, from the Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 23, should I say.
Yep, hearing integrity systems are in good shape, no issues with the vehicle or crew, and the weather in their splashdown location, as we heard earlier, looks good. Scattered clouds at 10,000 feet, very light winds at 7 knots. Everything looking good at this point. And yeah, as you pointed out, the USS John P. Murtaugh is ready to recover the crew and the capsule downrange. We have the helicopters, WB-57, and other aerial assets out in the range to try and catch video of Orion once it returns. Now below the altitude of the ISS, a minute to go until peak heating, or 2 minutes to go until peak heating, 1 minute to go until entry interface. Here at NSF, we wish the crew of Artemis II Godspeed.
1 minute to a
6-minute
blackout.
Integrity.
There we go.
Reed, Victor, Christina, Jeremy, looking forward to having you home. 30 seconds to go until that point.
These views are just incredible, aren't they?
Enjoying them while we have them, that's for sure.
Yeah, once entry interface is hit, the blackout will not be instant. It'll take about 25 seconds or so after that to hit the moment where they would lose radio communication.
Yep, hopefully we'll get to see some of that plasma before it blocks out the signal here. That is our numbers disappearing on the top of the screen. That is not NASA losing any data from the spacecraft. That's just our animation that we had at the top.
Wow. There we go.
Orion orienting itself here now, getting ready to go through the atmosphere.
Plasma.
There you
There we
see some
go,
of the
yeah.
plasma on the right. Coming up shortly on that expected loss of signal. Plasma starting to engulf the window.
Every second of signal that we get is bonus here.
And it's
And there it
gone.
goes.
And there we go.
Capsule now about to reach temperatures of 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 3,000 degrees Celsius. For reference, the surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can see there from the from the NASA tracking site that we've had all the way through here, through this whole mission. Obviously, they also are losing some of that live data, given that it is engulfed in the plasma. Right now, the abcoat blocks underneath Orion, absorbing most of that heat and burning away the ablative material on the end. So part of that heat shield is designed to burn away intentionally. It
Oh.
looks like we have aerial assets already catching it.
There we go.
Wow.
Should be already on peak heating, by the way. They hit that about a minute and a half into the reentry. So already in that period of peak heating.
12 minutes ago until splashdown. Again, amazing that we already have some of those aerial assets starting to catch it from this far away. A reminder that when it hit the atmosphere there at the 400,000 feet mark, it was still 2,000 statute miles or 3,150 kilometers away from its splashdown area. And a reminder, we are currently in a loss of signal, which is why you see the animation. There is no audio or video from inside the capsule with the crew at this point. The plasma blocking those signals.
We've got that countdown clock coming in with the acquisition of signal when we're expecting to hear from the crew again in about 4 minutes' time.
And again, that is approximate time. So
Yeah.
the acquisition of signal, if it doesn't reacquire exactly at 0, that's fine.
Don't panic.
Sometimes it can even
Exactly.
be earlier. We got a few more seconds there of signal, even when they predicted a loss of signal earlier. So hey, look, we can even get that acquisition of signal even earlier than predicted.
Exactly. Now about 50 miles in altitude at this point.
P3 has acquisition of integrity, one of the area assets.
And now you can see it's doing that slight raise. If you look at the altitude there, that was going in, and now it's going to slightly come out of the atmosphere a bit, but not as dramatic as we saw during Artemis I.
The Easter Bunny hop, we should call that.
And again, these are estimated numbers at this point, not exact.
We're still just under 3 minutes away from getting that acquisition of signal back, approximately. And we'll know a little more from what's going on with the crew.
There we go. Now you can see some of the numbers there in the bottom right.
And we're expecting the deployment of those parachutes at around 35,000 feet. Obviously, we'll see the drogue first, the drogues, before we see the rest of the parachutes deploy.
Yes, as pointed out, there is the cover that has been protecting the parachutes from the vacuum of space. And that forward bay cover has 3 parachutes of its own for it to fall away from the capsule. Then that will be followed by 2 drogue chutes that will deploy. Right after that cover separates, that will help slow integrity down. Those will go for about a minute, and then those will be cut, and then 3 pilot parachutes will then
All
help
airborne
deploy the 3
assets
mains.
have a visual on integrity. So
That's incredible.
They are now looking at it. There we go.
Yep, WV-57 also has the visual. Hopefully we will get that imagery as well shortly.
As you saw from
The
before, it's
helicopter.
probably quite shaky, so it's probably quite difficult to see on a screen like this. But they've got the visual. That's what's the important part.
There we
You can
go.
see the-
Yeah.
See the velocity going down as well. Now under 14,000 miles an hour.
Should be coming up on that acquisition of signal in about 1 minute and 20 seconds from now. It could be a little bit earlier, it could be a little bit later. It depends.
Yep, all approximate.
Yep.
But so far, so good. We are still just about 8 minutes away from that splashdown when we're expecting it to reach the Pacific Ocean.
ISS is also approaching the splashdown area overhead, so we'll see if we get anything from that as well. Again, this obviously still a visualization and animation at this point. Hopefully we will start getting actual video signals shortly, and we should be hearing from the crew in approximately 30 seconds or so. Again, if it's a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, don't worry.
We are now processing data from Integrity.
Let's listen in.
That's Rob Navius, NASA Communications, that you hear the voice of. Sounds like they're getting data from the spacecraft. Hopefully we get to hear from the crew.
Yeah, we're waiting for that
Landing
signal
and
to
support officer
re-establish.
reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
That
There
looks
we
like
go.
the WB-57. We're one of the aerial assets with the infrared view.
Coming up in less than 7 minutes till the splashdown time.
And all times approximate.
Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views of Integrity. Still waiting to establish voice communication.
Look how hot that is coming in. Really get an idea
Integrity,
of the heat.
Houston, comm check, post-blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Let's go!
Your trajectory
Yes.
is
Remember, we'll
nominal,
breathe a sigh of
and your
relief.
recovery teams have visual.
Guidance looks good.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman. For America and a waiting world, Integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home.
Now let's see those parachutes. Come on. Should be in a few minutes from now.
Yeah, still a couple minutes away. Again,
Passing
you can see from this
100,000
infrared
feet
view
now.
just the heat.
Yep.
Range to splash down 19 nautical miles.
Ryan should be subsonic very soon now.
Yep.
You can see just how bright it is on our screens. All that plasma still wrapping around the capsule.
If you have epilepsy, you may want to look away for a few
Yeah.
minutes. We'll let you know when the flashing stops.
Not our thing. This is NASA's assets.
Yeah, that's NASA's camera. We do
Integrity,
apologize.
there
impact
we
for
go.
to
that.
the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
You can look away. You can look back now for those
Integrity.
with the flash. You can see the details in the capsule
Processing
there.
good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes.
Should be coming up on that forward bay cover jettison.
And
in
a view
less
of Integrity from the
half a minute.
WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
Again, it was around 35,000 feet. We're expecting those parachutes to start to deploy. It's around the height that you are flying at in a normal passenger plane. Here we go. I think I
See
just
some
saw.
of the heat coming off of it as it came back from that fiery re-entry.
So the top
Through
will
the-
come off. That cover that protects the parachutes.
Pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison.
There we go.
And that cover itself has its own parachutes to move it away from the capsule. And that will be followed by the deployment of those drogue chutes. There we
There
go.
we go.
And there go the first
There
series
goes the
of
cover with its
parachutes.
chutes.
And we're on drogues.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
Two good drogue
Each of those
chutes.
Coming up on the mains.
Next up,
Each about
We see
23
'em.
feet, 7 meters in diameter.
Next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Amazing imagery here.
Yep. Spacecraft still at quite the
Perfect
speed, but
descent
it will
rate
be slowing
according to
down.
flight
Integrity,
dynamics.
Good rate on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
You can see it's well below the tracking plane.
Yes, it will be going down to a speed of 19 miles per hour at touchdown.
Passing through
or at splashdown.
10,000 feet. Still on drogues.
Yeah, the mains separate about 6,000, 5,000 feet in altitude.
Yeah, you
Should be
don't want them
coming up
out.
soon.
Don't want them out too early. They can break. There we go.
There's
There
the
we go.
cut. There's the deployment of the mains.
Main chute deploy.
It'll take a minute to
We're
fully
at 5,000 feet.
inflate. There we go. All 3 looking good.
Search and
Briefing in
recovery beacon has been
progress.
activated on integrity.
There we go.
And we have 3 good main
Beautiful.
chutes.
Window.
Good 3 main chutes, good reefing,
Houston
good
Coast
descent
Guard,
rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
Those are each 116 feet or 35 meters in diameter.
They're huge.
265 feet or 80 meters long, and each one
Integrity.
weighs
Cabin
300
pressure indicates
pounds.
no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity, Captain.
Good, that's no leaking hypergolic fuels.
This is a
That's good.
perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board. Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds.
I can tell you friends of the crew have been messaging me saying they were holding their breath for that blackout moment. We all knew it was coming, but there's something very disheartening to know that your friends are on board there waiting for that moment
Integrity
for
about to
reconnection.
complete
And
a
when they
journey
heard them,
spanning
wow.
481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
That's about 1,117,659 kilometers if you use metric.
Again, those
Had
3
that
main
number already.
parachutes helping to slow the spacecraft down. It's still going to be a bit of a jolt to the crew on the actual splashdown itself. Oh, you can see some of the
I love
burning
that.
off there of
Yeah.
those hypergolics, it looks like. Totally fine.
As expected.
Passing
Exactly.
through 1,000 feet.
Approximately 15 seconds to splashdown. It's going to feel a bit like getting into a car accident, but considering that they were just 13 minutes ago traveling at 24,000 miles per hour, this is quite impressive. And again, as we said, that time in the top left was estimated. It obviously varies depending on exact reentry profile, the winds,
Yep.
and all of that.
Closing in now. Let's see the splashdown.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing
Here we
command
go.
now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown. Waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
Excellent. Absolutely amazing.
As you pointed out, almost 700,000 miles, almost 1.2
And the landing
million
and support
kilometers.
officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts.
Stable 1 means the capsule is upright.
Obviously, it's going to take a moment. They're not rushing in too quickly to recover the crew. They've got to give it a little bit of time to settle.
It is, as you pointed out, going to take a couple of minutes. You saw some of that hypergolic propellants and things venting out clearing out all of the lines. Of course, they want to make sure that is all safe. You will see the giant balloons start to inflate, as they were talking about, which is part of the crew uprighting system. So that way they are in stable 1, meaning
The
that the capsule is
unofficial
upright.
splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds.
So a little less than what they were originally guesstimating.
And
think
we're
earlier they were
configuring
saying
for very low
57.
data rate.
Obviously
You can
getting
see some
live
of the other
feeds
tubes,
from
it
Splashdown
looks like over
occurring
there.
in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego, at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston,
Yes.
com check on VLDR.
That's what I was waiting for, that view from the
Houston, we have you loud and
USS
clear on
John
VLDR.
Murtagh.
How else?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post landing.
There we go.
And with
Perfect
that, they are no
communications
longer using
established.
A journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Houston, copy.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means.
We'll see
might
after
be
an
their
hour of
complexion.
floating.
Upright, the crew module uprighting system is being deployed, the 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon.
Some of the other parachute systems still coming back down.
There you go, and you can see
But then
those
you can see there.
the orange inflatables up at the top. As pointed out, stable 1 means the crew is upright, but this is in case something happens or a wave hits or whatever to help keep them upright. If they landed sideways or upside down, these would have inflated and righted the capsule.
Yep. There was another view, much wider view, where you could see like all of the other chutes, like you could see like the drogue chutes and things like that. This is why I mentioned earlier that they wait a few minutes for all of those other pieces of hardware that they deploy to sort of either get already in the water or sort of, you know, make sure that they're not going to be in the way when they go out to the crew.
We continue
Yes, and the
to
VL
monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable 1 or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
I'm sure after an hour of floating and bobbing in the water, maybe they will be green.
They will be
but
green, yeah.
Amazing. The crew back on Earth. Hopefully the first of many splashdowns from around the
And for
moon
SAR beacon and
in
radio.
the years to come.
So we are expecting divers to go and
Our
meet the
beacon
capsule as well.
is in 406, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
Okay, copy. And we are also powering up the sat phone now.
Good call.
I wonder if they'll do prank calls with that phone.
SAR, by the way, search and rescue. So that was if they were way off course to be able to find them, and additional ways to also be able to communicate with the recovery forces. If
I was
not
mentioning
through
the prank calls because
communications
they
here.
did that on Demo 2. Bob and Dog. That was hilarious.
Yeah. But yep, so again, those helicopters will eventually go out there and grab the crew. But right now, as you pointed out there, Alice, they will have the initial divers come out and be the first ones to greet the crew as they wait for the vehicle and everything to be safe. And again, for that crew to actually get out there and do the initial checkouts on the capsule and the crew. So far, so good. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, I'm still at a loss for words now as we see them bobbing in the water there.
It's definitely a good thing. This is everything that they hoped for and more, to see this go as well as it has. I'm sure the
And as long
crew,
as we have views, we will be staying live through the crew actually being taken out of the capsule and brought back.
yeah, and they will obviously go for medical checkups. That's expected. Certainly what every crew does when they egress.
Exactly. And with the crew safely back down, we now have brand new merch just released
Love
celebrating the crew's safe return. There you go. Artemis II Splashdown, April 10th,
Yes, frequency.
2026.
We copy.
Oh, I love that new the one on the mug and everything, and this gorgeous one. Available at shop.nasaspaceflight.com now. There it is. Look at that. Oh, I love that one personally. They're both really cool. But to show the actual splashdown on the left, and again, there's the real thing on the right. They look pretty darn close. Apollo to Artemis, a new era begins. All available now. I think now we can finally say mission success.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you see those orange inflatables at the top. That's expected.
Just
Capsule
wanted to
expected
blend
stay
in with
upright, though. You could see very calm waters.
I was going to say, they just wanted to blend in with the suits that they're wearing. I feel like orange is the color of this mission.
Yeah, again, the vessels nearby is the USS John P.
Weekend
Murta.
broken.
Integrity, Houston did not call.
Few
Copy that,
comms
Houston.
issues.
It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
Again, that search and rescue radio that they're talking about.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion.
And you see them bobbing there, safely home. But yes, the USS John P. Murta is nearby. We had those helicopters with some of the visuals there.
They
We'll
obviously
have the
couldn't be
dive
too
team.
close, could they? It's what, a 5-mile radius they were expected to be to the splashdown zone, so they're having to maneuver to be a little bit closer for that recovery mission.
Yep, that was 5 miles out. And yes, so the crew of those first 4 divers will be out there to go
There we
grab
are.
them. There's the boat behind it, I believe.
Looks like it, doesn't it? We're expecting those divers to arrive first to check the capsule before they open it. That crew will then come out onto those boats and then get recovered by the helicopters from the Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 23 team.
Exactly. And the first 4 people that will be out there will be with the U.S. Navy. That's Lieutenant Commander Jesse Wang, Senior Chief Hospital Corpsman Laddie Aldridge, Chief Hospital Corpsman Vlad Link, and Hospital Corpsman First Class Steve Capula. That is the dive medical team that will be the first ones to open the Orion capsule once the crew does go out there. So they will first then do their medical assessments of the crew, help them out of the capsule, and then get them towards one of the helicopters that will be aboard to grab them up. In terms of order, I believe it is going to be Christina,
All
who
right,
is
Jackie,
closest
we
to
just
the hatch.
selected T/D+30. No joy on SAR radio or sat phone. And stand by, we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey,
There we
Lily.
go.
Excuse me. Hey, Jackie. We just got the master diver on SAR.
Will he be in the lead
And a-
recovery operations?
I was going to say, and a bird just randomly flying by. Amazing.
Yep.
Great
Again,
views.
There we go.
There's
Speedboat.
one of the fast boats is what SpaceX calls them. It's, I guess, similar here.
You
The
are happy
first
with
cruise
your
to go
comm
out.
with Master Diver. You can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control.
Working out all of the ways to recover them and everything, and it's amazing after all this time of they're talking on tracking data relay satellites, then they're on the Deep Space Network. Now they're just back on regular old terrestrial radio.
And they're obviously doing some observations at this moment, making sure that the capsule's looking the way it's supposed to. It's a slow approach. This is all expected and part of their plan for the recovery mission.
So did everyone on Earth get their gorilla or ape costumes to surprise the crew when they came back?
You've got to wonder. I don't know how well that will go with the dive crew.
Concur. We haven't had anything come through.
Yep, there's going to be the boat coming up to the crew. As mentioned, the 4 medical team members are going to be the first ones out there. And then eventually we'll have the helicopters that will be there.
But it does not appear as though they are hearing us.
Still a few of those comms issues. Hey, look, if that's the worst
Houston
that's going on
copies,
right
and
now.
Reed, just to confirm, you are pushing the PTT on the radio.
Making sure they're pressing the push to talk.
Why are you pushing the right one? There's a lot of different ones on that console. Wouldn't be the end of the world if they didn't. Again, they're in that
So as we
inspection
continue
time.
to sort out the communications between Integrity and the recovery teams, we are standing by for the initiation of the power down procedures that, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large inflatable raft called the front porch.
Yep, that is the nickname for it. You can probably, if you've seen the Apollo missions with that little inflatable thing around the capsule when they get out, that's basically along those lines. So if you remember it from the Apollo days, even from the
Houston,
Gemini
for
days.
sat phone, we are going to attempt to call you.
Good idea, standing by.
Boy,
Yes,
you can get
we are
delivery anywhere.
pushing the push to talk, the 2 buttons on the left side of the radio below the up-down arrows. We are utilizing them. I'm rebooting the radio to see if we get good comms.
Okay, we copy all, and just to confirm, you are seeing that you are touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
Helicopters coming into view there, as well as those rescue boats.
Yeah, it went from nobody nearby to everyone all at once. Yes, so they're using the satellite phone that they have instead. After all that talk about using a terrestrial radio, now they're going to sat phones. But this to be able to communicate with those teams, letting them know about approaching, getting the hatch open. Which a reminder, the hatch on the side of that capsule has not been opened in over 9 days. The last time that that hatch was opened, it was later closed by the closeout crew at Launch Complex 39B at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And now it will be opened in the Pacific Ocean after a 700,000-mile journey.
In their defense with the communications issues, if anyone's ever been out at sea at that kind of distance, it's spotty at best. So it's not surprising they're having issues with the terrestrial communications services as they are. And again, if that's the worst thing that they're having to deal with right now, we'll take it.
Exactly. At least it's not Microsoft Outlook trying to sync.
An explosive toilet. There we go. It's
Please
about as close as we've got
reply.
so far.
NRD, very weak, but readable. Master Diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us.
It sounds like the divers are there already.
Well, they're still trying to get in contact with them with these different modes of communication, and it sounds like right now it's still just a one-way communication. And this is all part of the test flight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the actual launch portion itself, it's also the recovery assets, because the last time they recovered Artemis I, there was mannequins on board, or moonikins, as they called them, not actual human beings. And of course, this is being able to talk with them one-on-one to get them all set up to approach the capsule. And then, of course, once they are there, the medical teams will speak with each of the individual astronauts
And
as well.
Houston on OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
Checking.
I did see someone ask, why don't they just route it through Houston? Well,
They are.
sounds like that's what they're going to try. Amazing just to see the number of vessels and
This is Mission
helicopters
Control,
and everything
Houston.
out there.
While we stand by for the establishment of communications between Integrity and the recovery team that is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
Hey, Rob, yeah, just such an
Anyway.
honor to be able to be here on the ship, to be able to share and experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said, yes, here with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Administrator, how did you feel getting to witness this and seeing NASA at its best?
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, you know, like the childhood Jared right now can't believe what I just saw. I mean, almost been waiting my whole lifetime to see this, and then it's NASA Administrator. I just couldn't be more proud of the entire workforce, the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now. And yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at them behind us
We
here.
got everybody. Hey, what do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh?
While he's wearing his astronaut jacket himself.
Unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, so grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, to get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I think about the crew members that we've all had an opportunity to observe over the last 10 days, right? I mean, they're absolutely professional astronauts. I mean, wonderful communicators, almost poets. But then I think these were the ambassadors from humanity to the stars that we sent out there right now. And I can't imagine a better crew than the Artemis II crew that just completed a perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. It's like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we land on it in 2028 and start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum for Artemis III? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So I mean, that's, you know, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off of Integrity right now, but also getting Integrity back on this ship so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis III. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC. Core stage for Artemis III is rolling out on April 20th. we're getting 39, or we're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So yes, there is a lot to celebrate right now on a mission well accomplished for Artemis II, and at the same time, we got to start getting ready for 3.
Amazing. And last question, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners, what do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes, it's the contributions, like the best and brightest across the NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think, in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis II, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort. We are returning to the moon. We're doing it to stay. We are building that enduring presence. We are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone. We're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here, you guys ready to land on the moon? Awesome. I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly.
Okay,
we have an interview with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, who was out on the recovery vessel there. Well traveled, both being at the launch and then in mission control for much of the mission, and now on the recovery vessel.
They say we weren't going to go to them, and then we realised it was Jared Isaacman. We had to listen to the NASA administrator and what he wanted to share with us.
And so now we continue to wait for the crew to be extracted. Last we heard, they were having those issues with communicating with the dive team there, and the master diver specifically, using their search and rescue radios, trying through sat phones, trying to route the communications. So we will have to see when they're finally able to communicate with them so that they can actually go in there and grab the astronauts out of the capsule. Look at that view of Artemis in the water. It still doesn't feel real. But it is. It's real. That is actually a capsule that returned from around the moon in my lifetime with people on it.
That's a real pinch me moment, isn't it?
It is, and just compare it to the new merch that came out. I mean, it's identical. It's the same picture as the office beam goes. Look at that. But I mean, if you're just as hyped as we are about the mission finally coming to its conclusion, celebrating the return of Artemis II successfully, and hopefully the return of humanity's journeys to the moon again, you should check out the new merch, shop.nasaspaceflight.com. Just released. You can see we've had it on mugs, we've had it on hoodies. Gorgeous designs. The shop team did an amazing job here with this. So celebrate the return of humanity to the moon and these 4 astronauts back down to Earth at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. So, Alex, I know you've been listening in. What's the latest that we're hearing so far right now?
Yeah, so as expected, the Orion spacecraft has been powered down as part of the plan, because it's basically like within 20 minutes after splashdown, it's supposed to power down. And officially, with that power down, Johnson Space Center has handed over the responsibility of Orion to the Exploration Ground Systems. But that doesn't mean that the flight director sort of just ups and go or anything like that. He's still out there at JC on console, and he will be on console until the crew departs the capsule. But that's basically, the official handover. Orion from now on, it's part of the Exploration Ground Systems, which, for people that might not be aware, those are the ones that are in charge of the transportation of the of basically putting together the rocket, for example, before launch, of the ground systems. I mean, it's part of the name, I guess, but it also involves as well the recovery and the transport back to the Kennedy Space Center for all of the post-landing inspections.
Yep, so there's still plenty to do with this capsule now. It's not like, oh, it's back, it's done. There's a lot of inspection to do. Of course, we're going to want to see how that heat shield looks after re-entry. And then
For Artemis 1, they had a sort of like a little media day when they arrived with the capsule. I hope they have something like that. We had that with, I remember Jack went out there to California, to San Diego, and he was actually able to spot the little sort of spillations on that heat shield back when Artemis 1. So we'll see if we get a view of that when that happens. It should happen within a few days.
Yeah, that would be amazing if we get to see the views again. And then, of course, they will continue to inspect it. It will make its way back to Florida, where the teams will look at everything on board the capsule. Of course, there are things that they will have to remove from inside Orion first. A lot of science experiments, things that are more on the time-sensitive side. Trash. Some of which will be thrown away, some of which will actually be analyzed post-launch. Or post-landing, excuse me. So... amazing. And again, you can see all the people there ready and waiting to hop over towards the Orion capsule and the crew of 4 on board Integrity. Amazing. 218 hours after launch, the crew now awaiting extraction, which, as pointed out, it will be the medical team that will be out there with them as part of the U.S. Navy Fleet Forces Command. So again, that will be Lieutenant Commander Jesse Wang, Senior Chief Hospital Corpsman Laddie Aldridge, Chief Hospital Corpsman Vlad Link, and Hospital Corpsman First Class Steve Capalla. They are the dive medical team that will be the first ones to open up the capsule now after splashdown. And if all goes to plan, in terms of who they will talk to, check out, and then the extraction plan will be starting off with Christina Cook, who is MS-1 closest to the hatch, then Victor Glover, who is the pilot. That will be followed by Mission Specialist 2 and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. And then, of course, the last one to leave the ship is the captain, or in this case, Commander Reed Weissman. There'll be 2 different helicopters to return the 4 crew members to the deck of the John F. Murtaugh, which is just a couple miles away from where they are right now and closing.
It's great to see those MH-60S Seahawk helicopters as well that keep coming through on the screen. They will obviously be extracting the crew from that, what did they call it, the deck? The welcoming
the front
deck?
porch.
The front porch, there you go, when they are out of the capsule.
Yep.
Front porch. Does it come with a rocker as well? Oh, look. Supplied by the seabed, obviously.
Yep. Again, I can imagine the moment when they were able to open up the capsule, open up the hatch, and smell the salt air for the first time after 9 days of being in very close proximity to the 4 communication, or of the words, to be within close proximity of the 4 astronauts, all in that tight space.
It's been a long and a very exciting coverage so far today, Sawyer. I think we can definitely excuse you from forgetting your words. I mean, there have been points during this entire mission where we've all got to that point where we've lost our thought process and been lost for words for how incredible this entire mission has been from start to finish. They really have done a very good job of executing Artemis II, the entire mission.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's still hard to believe that the crew that we've been following for the last almost 10 days of our lives, non-stop, is back home. I'm very glad they've made it back safely, too. And you can see all of those people ready and waiting to get to that capsule and get to those 4 astronauts. After a nearly 700,000 mile journey around the moon and back. which I should point out for those who use metric, that is just under, it's a little over 1.1 million kilometers traveled. Hopefully the crew is able to communicate with those search and rescue teams.
I was going to say, we're seeing one of them approach it a little more, certainly moving around for observations. That's a good sign.
Starting to do circles there, yeah. Hopefully finally able to approach the capsule soon. So yeah, as we heard there, they were having initial issues communicating with the master diver that will be part of the team to grab the crew out, or at least check on them first, get them onto that front porch, and then have the helicopters come and recover them. There we go. Still doing the circling. Of course, you've got all of the aerial units circling as well. And Alex, I think we now have the official splashdown time.
Yep, official splashdown time per the flight dynamics officer was 7:07 p.m. 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Eastern time. That will be 0007 27 UTC. That's 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes and 15 seconds after launch. I actually flipped my numbers here. I had written down 23. It's 32 minutes and 15 seconds. There you go.
Yeah, that's 8:07 p.m. 27 seconds Eastern time.
Yeah.
7:07 Central.
And it's very confusing when you get all these different time zones coming out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. I meant exactly 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh, my goodness.
We're
Yeah.
seeing that crew
Too
approach
many
the
time
capsule.
zones
Yeah.
that you all have. Yeah.
There you go.
8:07, 27 p.m. Eastern, 0007, 27 UTC.
There we go. We see the crews finally reaching the capsule. Or at least getting near it.
I'm sure at this point they're doing readings, they're checking, observing with their eyes, making sure that the crew are ready for that opening of the capsule.
Yep, we want to make sure it's safe for everybody getting out, both the recovery teams as well as the actual astronauts themselves.
It's interesting because before Artemis 1, they still hadn't sort of narrowed down to a sort of like a path to how to recover the crew. Because today, the way that they're going to be doing it, we've talked about the front porch, right? That inflatable raft on the hatch of the capsule, and they'll be airlifted by the helicopters to the ship. But the other option that they were sort of trading off is sort of the way that we see, for example, SpaceX recover Crew Dragons, which is they lift first the capsule onto the ship, right? And then they help the crew get out. And so that was one of the options that they were sort of debating. For Artemis 2, they decided to do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, for longer missions, that will be the case. Apollo did a very similar thing where the lunar missions, they had the airlifting, but for Skylab missions, for example, they brought the ship first, the capsule first onto the ship, and then they will be helped out. Because it's a lot easier when you have been in microgravity for a long time, basically. And so just so you can sort of notice the sort of trade-offs here, where it's 10 days, and in the future might be a lot more time out there. So
Yep, and you can definitely see those sniffer rods there from the looks of it, as they've been testing everything, all the air around it, for any remaining of the hypergolic propellants that they use on board. Which, what do they use for Orion, Alex?
sorry, I was paying attention to another thing. Can you repeat that, please?
What are the hypergolics that they use on Orion?
I believe it's hydrazine. It's monopropellant. So you don't need like a fuel and oxidizer. You use hydrazine. You run it through a catalytic material, and so it sort of decomposes, and that creates the reaction that you want. That's usually what is normally used in these cases.
Yeah.
And I believe that was what they were calling out earlier well before the reentry, when they were talking about the hot firing before the separation of the European service module.
Exactly. So hopefully those numbers come back, and if all is good, then we'll see them approach.
Again,
Amazing
with those.
just to see.
I was going to say the helicopters. I love seeing them. The MH-60S Seahawk helicopters as they keep coming through. They will be extracting the crew once they are on board the floating front porch, which I'm now going to just call the deck.
Hey, it's a boat. It's got a deck, right?
Absolutely. It just seemed to make more sense for me.
Yeah. Again, seeing those crews do that. If you're used to seeing the SpaceX crew launches, they do something very similar. It just usually doesn't take as long in this case, but it's very similar in how they do it. However, at that point, they wouldn't work on opening up the hatch, so that was less of a concern. They would continue to do more of those sniffs once it was on the SpaceX recovery vessel. In this case, though, since they will be removing the crew at this point and then having them remove the crew via helicopter, that is why it's a little bit different and why they may be taking a little extra time. So yeah, it's amazing the amount of people out there to do this. And these teams have been training years and years for this exact thing of working with the capsule, getting the people out, going through this whole choreographed routine, and now to finally be able to do it in actuality. Amazing. Now at this point, it has been about 40-ish minutes or so since the crew has splashed down. And we continue to wait for these dive teams to approach the capsule Integrity after its journey around the moon. Amazing. Again, I saw someone say it perfectly earlier of, we waited 9 days for them to come back. We can wait the extra 30 minutes for the hatch to open.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm sure they can take that little time alone there.
Safety
on their own.
first as well. They're obviously doing lots of testing and getting themselves ready. As we mentioned before multiple times, this is all part of the entire Artemis program they are readying themselves for, not just the Artemis II mission itself. I'm sure there's a lot of things that they're having to train up for and get ready for future missions.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this is taking a bit of time, Alex. What do they have to do before they get the crew out?
Yeah, so obviously we still need to see them do the whole thing with the inflatable raft, right? Then medics will go into the capsule and check on the crew. There'll be two of them. One of them, I have my own notes here. So one of them will go check on Reed and Jeremy, and then the other one will go check on Christina and Victor. Once they have been checked out, the crew will be then extracted onto the inflatable raft, and the order will be basically who's closest to the hatch will be first. That'll be Christina, and then it'll be Victor right above her, and then Jeremy to the left of where Christina will be, and then Reed will be the last. So the commander will abandon ship, I guess, the last. And once they are on the inflatable raft, two helicopters will be airlifting the crew. Christina and Victor will go on the first helicopter, helicopter number 1, if you will, and then Jeremy and Reed will go on helicopter number 2. They'll switch around, so it's gonna be Christina, then Jeremy, then Victor, then Reed. So it's gonna be sort of like a little bit of a swap there.
So lots still to happen.
Little bit like of a swap there.
Is that you trying to do something there, Alex? Is it like a transition?
I don't know. Maybe. Was trying to help you out.
Thank you. Well, Alice Carruth has been with us since the beginning here. Thank you Alice, for joining us here. It's been awesome having you on commentary.
Always a pleasure to hang out with you guys and learn a lot about what's going on as well. And of course, I'm going to be handing over to Max Evans, who's going to be taking over for me. Hi, Max.
Good evening, everybody. What a time, right? I mean, that was probably the lamest intro possible, but just given what we're seeing now, I don't know if there are any words that could suffice for what we have not just witnessed today, but for the past nearly 10 days now. Just watching divers now finally approaching the spacecraft. God, that reminds me so much of Apollo. And obviously better because the camera quality nowadays is so much better. But oh my word. I don't know if I have anything of value to add at this second other than just look at what you're seeing now and appreciate it all. Because this has been years in the making. And as Jared was saying, this is not going to be a once in a lifetime thing, as we are aiming to do this a lot more now with Artemis III and going forward. So, yeah, just trying to admire, trying to drink it in, trying to breathe a sigh of relief because Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy are finally home and home safe. Integrity is in stable 1. Divers now are now approaching the spacecraft, and we're hoping to see them egress at some point soon. So, just all good news for now, and hoping it stays that way.
Yes, and as support teams approach the vehicle, I am way behind on our support. So while we wait to finally see the crew and get these divers on board and checking them out, let me go back to thanking some people here. 8 Astra Sawyer fan here, so a bit of a bias, but I want to say thank you for all your hard work covering this mission. It's been a journey to remember. It's been an honor to be a part of this team covering this. Adam T, so long, and thanks for the trout. Yes, the route trout, as we've been calling it, is officially complete. James, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. SE, are you owned by NASA or independent? We are an independent news organization here at NSF, a bunch of space fans and enthusiasts and journalists covering the space program and all different aspects of it, including other companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin and ULA, in addition to NASA missions. So we appreciate all of you joining. Colton, from all the ops running the 2410 stream, we will miss this a ton. Yes. Mark, thank you for the support. Jacob, the idea of a huge world is faulty. I think once you travel the world, stuff like this unites people and brings awareness to how tiny our planet really is. Great job, guys, and much love to my fellow viewers in chat. Amazing. Boot, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Capcom and above gets access to the NSF Discord, where we talk about all things spaceflight. We also have food channels, gaming channels, chances to chat with us as well, so hopefully we'll see you in there. All things home, can the ISS track them and see them? We'll have to see. I know the ISS crew posted a picture of themselves inside the cupola, the big window that they have aboard the ISS, ready to scout it out to see if they could see anything. So we'll have to keep an eye out as well on their social medias, which don't forget, if they do see it, we will post it on our social media channels as well. X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Nero, history made. Congratulations to Artemis II. Yes. Houston, thank you for becoming a Pad Rat member. Jonah, thank you for the support. No message, but appreciate it. Kathy saying, you guys are the best. This is my first time since you started the live streaming to think they'll have a big book of all their photos they took. Did they see other planets? I mean, they have images.nasa.gov, which is a whole big book of all the photos that they've released so far, and there will absolutely be more coming. And yes, they did see some of the other planets. We know they saw Saturn and Mars, at least while they were on the far side of the moon.
Yep. Venus and Mercury were also there.
Amazing.
And they said they saw Mars pretty prominently with its orange color and orange-red color, although it probably wouldn't have looked much bigger considering, all things considered, they were not that much closer to Mars relatively compared to how we are with it on average. So, but that being said, they were out of Earth's atmosphere, so the clarity of the stars, the planets, and the galaxies would have been that much greater.
Oh, yeah. Cow gifting a Red Team membership. Joe, how do you split the Super Chat contributions? Don't worry, it is. We all It's split evenly amongst all the team working on this. So that's why your support goes to not only helping us, but also to helping to provide the live cameras and streams that we do, including the ones down at Starbase at Cape Canaveral in Florida, as well as in McGregor, Texas, as well as having teams out there. Again, there's a roll tonight scheduled, very likely, from Starbase. We'll have teams out for that. We also have the NG-24 ISS resupply mission scheduled to launch tomorrow morning. We'll have teams out in the field for that. Max, in fact, it'll be you and me out in the field.
Firm. I came right from pad 40 for a camera setup and came right back to the press site to get set up for this. So there's actually some really cool treats in store for that one, considering the new location of Falcon 9's new LZ, or landing zone. So stay tuned for that, because there should hopefully be some goodies coming in the early afternoon. But let's focus on this for now.
Yep, but still, worth noting that look at all these live streams that we've done and that we have scheduled. So yeah, all of these are live videos that we've done, have done, and will do coming up. And there's plenty more. So if we have a camera there, we will live stream it for you.
We've been busy bees, haven't we?
Yeah. Can you believe that we were, what was it, 9 or 10-ish days ago since launch, Max?
I was... The best way I can probably describe this, just from a time experience perspective, from someone on the ground who was lucky enough to be on site for launch, is the 4 and a bit days leading up to the lunar flyby seemed like they were taking forever. Like it seemed like they were dragging. Just get myself centered here real quick. There we go. It seemed like that dragging is kind of the wrong word, but the days seemed longer than they were. Maybe that was just because we weren't used to following something like this so closely for so long, that time both just kind of melded together and also kind of stretched out. But those 4 days leading up to the lunar flyby felt like a long time. And since, obviously, now they're back in the Pacific Ocean now, the 4 days since, or 5 days since, have seemed to have been sped up like exponentially. It seems like the flyby was yesterday, and it wasn't.
By the way, it looks like the hatch is finally open.
Yes.
There we go.
Look at that.
After more than 9 days since it was closed, the hatch now reopened with the 4 astronauts doing well in the Pacific Ocean. Can't wait to hear them tell their story after this.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear what they have to say, and just the expressions on their faces. Maybe not immediately after this, because who knows, or if they may or may not be seasick right now. But considering how well they seem to be handling 0G, I have faith in the crew of 4 there. But just how this has affected them, and as I asked them when they got here to the Kennedy Space Center just a couple of weeks ago now, I'm curious to see or hear how this mission has affected them, and what their outlook is now on life going forward, and also just spaceflight in general. Because Artemis II, as Reed has said, and this quote I think goes down in history as like one of the greatest, we want to be forgotten. Like Artemis II is a starting point. Like it's not the apex, it's not the climax, it's not a once in a lifetime event. As Jared was just saying, with Megan on board just a few minutes ago, talking to the teams who are going to be recovering. Like this is not a once in a lifetime thing. Like this is only the beginning. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah.
So
I remember the crew did a similar comment well before the launch, where they were asked like, what is sort of the thing that you want people to remember after this? And so I think it was either Christina or Victor who said that I actually don't want this to be remembered. I want this to be like some kind of old mission that happened, and it just happened, and we are, on the moon bases and going on to Mars and that sort of stuff. Like it's just this old thing that happened, sort of like, I don't know, the first intercontinental flight or something like that. I don't know. It's like something that is just, it's a beginning, sure, but it's just so common nowadays that. Like that is sort of their thinking, right? That it's something that is so common that people just forget about it.
How many people remember Apollo 7?
Right?
Yeah. That's one of the things that I've had to fight off a little bit a few times. Fight off in quotes here. Because it's like a lot of people kept repeating that Apollo 8 went and orbited the moon. And I was like, but that was the second crewed flight of Apollo, right? They had already done a crewed test flight of Apollo spacecraft, which was Apollo 7. This is the first crewed flight of Orion. It went by the book, basically, a few things here and there, but that's the whole point of a test flight with crew on board. The toilet issues, right? And things like that. Those are the things that are now things that they have to look for and fix for the next few missions. You cannot get to an operational cadence without a test flight first. So they had an uncrewed one, then a crewed one, which is this one. Just like we've seen with Crew Dragon, same thing. They did an uncrewed test flight, a crewed test flight, also an in-flight abort test, a pad abort test of the escape systems. Orion has done the same thing. Now all of those test flights are out of the way. Next mission, Artemis 3, will test the lander just like Apollo 9 did the same thing. And so, look, we are in that era now. We're starting to test all of this hardware. As soon as we get out of the test phases, we'll go all the way down and start building that base, which is the important thing of this program, right? I say we, but you know what I mean, right? As humans.
And I guess
Like we're NASA or anything.
and
exactly.
the next step to be preparing for right now, at least in terms of most immediately in the Artemis program, is Artemis 3. And the SRB segments have begun to arrive here at the Kennedy Space Center as recently as just a couple of days ago now. So things are picking up. And mind you, it took like what? Sorry, correct, help me out here. I think it was like, oh gosh, like 10 or so months for the first SRB segments for Artemis 2 to get here after Artemis 1. Maybe it was sooner than that, but either way, it was a multi-month wait before parts even began to arrive here. Of course, Artemis Orion is based here, so that I guess has always been here. But in terms of other segments of the launch vehicle itself, being SLS, took a long time for everything to get here. But we're due for some more SRB segments to be arriving here, I think, in the next week. It has been said numerous times now that we are expecting core stage components for Artemis 3 to be getting here at some point in late April, which is very soon, as we're already in the second week of April.
Jared said April 20th, right, for that rollout of Michoud. So arriving late April to the Kennedy Space Center. Yep.
So like hardware and gears are already turning for Artemis 3 preparation. And we should actually be seeing, I'm looking out the window at it right now, CT2 or Crawler Transporter 2 and Mobile Launcher 1 departing Launch Pad 39B, which is where this very spacecraft departed from just nine and a bit days ago. So gears are already turning for Artemis 3. We could not be more grateful for it. And this cadence has been greatly needed in the program itself. Its survival depends on it.
Yeah, and Max, we were talking about, the SLS and Orion side of things, of course, but there's also the landers, right?
Yep.
Because Starship, we've got that Booster 19, Ship 39, potentially rolling out tonight at Starbase, right? Ship 39 for its own static fire test at Massey's, Booster 19 going out to Pad 2 for its own static fire test campaign, hopefully with a launch next month. And then we also have Blue Origin as well, preparing for the third launch of New Glenn. They have also tested their first Blue Moon Mark 1 lander, and that'll be the base basically of the larger Mark 2 lander. And potentially the first few landings with Blue Origin will also be with sort of like an in-between version with like a Mark 1.5, right? But we're sort of going in the right direction where we're seeing all of these systems getting flown and tested, and this is essentially the path forward to a successful Artemis 3, and of course Artemis 4 with a landing on the moon.
It seems like they're starting to get the front porch ready for the crew to get out onto there.
I still can't get over the label for that, the front porch. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a sort of inflatable ledge that they'll be able to go out onto to then get picked up by the helicopters.
And Alex, refresh our memories. You said it was going to be Christina, Jeremy, Victor, and Reed in terms of order of who's getting out.
Christina,
Victor, Jeremy, and Reed.
Yeah.
It'd be so nice if we saw some dolphins around the capsule right now. How cool would that be?
That would be fun.
Sorry, yeah. Crew 9 already had that.
Yeah, right.
I think Crew 11 did as well. Anyway, let me go back to Thank You Pete because we're still hours behind here. Jonah, so much history behind this, and we got more ahead. Absolutely. Boot watching from Wilmington, Vermont. Always love the content. Thank you for that. Strawby for the support. Appreciate that as well. Dragon, it's a late night here in the UK, but my cats Apollo and Artemis are keeping me company. Thanks for providing the best views, NSF team. Great names.
If they're not gray and orange, that would be a shame. I'm just
Or
joking.
black and white and orange.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Susie Q, thank you for the $50 tip at tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Thanks for the amazing coverage as always. Godspeed, integrity. Viva, thank you for gifting the Red Team membership. James becoming a PadRat member. Jeremy saying, glad I got home from work in time for this. Very glad you did too. Jeffro gifting a Red Team membership. Don, thank you, saying thanks for the 24/10 coverage. Watched launch in person with grandsons growing up with NSF. That was a spectacular launch, and that's one that hopefully you'll never forget, and your grandsons will never forget as well, because I know I'll never forget that. Stefano, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. Eclectic, saying wonderful coverage. Congratulations, Allison and Russell Hannigan. Well, yeah, this is amazing to watch. I can't believe this is on the screen that's next to me right now. It's amazing.
I think just like speaking of weird, I think what's beginning to really settle in with me is the fact that we're now able to talk about the Artemis II mission in past tense. After 3 years of buildup since the crew was announced, we can finally talk about Artemis II in past tense.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't
Gosh,
it right?
That's weird.
That's really strange. That's a really strange feeling. But we could not be more grateful for it. I mean, we've been waiting a long time for this to happen. But integrity
For
does
so
look
long.
Yeah, for so long. And integrity looks absolutely glorious. Floating in Stable 1 currently with a hatch open and the crew breathing some fresh air for the first time in almost 10 days. And hopefully feeling okay too, because that capsule has been bobbing around a lot, but that's what you get when you splash down in the water.
You can see the
You
minutes.
can see inside. Look at that.
Yeah. One of the shirts, I think, of one of the medics.
Wow.
Yeah. Also worth noting, we got a crew to fly around the moon and back, or fly behind the moon and back before we got GTA 6.
What?
Yeah.
So if you don't tweet that right now, I'm gonna be very angry.
Oh, that's what the front porch looks like, the inflatable raft. Showing sort of like a playback.
Wow.
All right, I'm typing it now.
You can actually fit a rocking chair there.
You can fit a lot of things in that space.
That's huge.
That's a lot of room.
All right, there you go. It's posted. Also, I believe I was seeing video there that at the New York Mets game, the baseball game tonight, they showed the splashdown live on the Jumbotron at the game. That doesn't feel like uniting the people of the world in something together. I don't know what does. Amazing. Billy Day with the $50 tip at tips.nasaspaceflight.com. It's 50 years from one great achievement to another. Welcome home, integrity.
Indeed.
Artemis, hey, good to see you. Good friend of mine. Which, yes, their name is legally Artemis. It's amazing. Looks like an Air New Zealand plane and some other aircraft are going to be near the reentry zone around the right time. Anything they might see. I don't know. We'll have to see if there's any, because we got plenty of videos from the from launch of people in airplanes. So we'll have to see.
I wonder what the onboard cameras for integrity captured as well. I mean, we have footage from Artemis 1. But I'm eager to see, especially with this newer profile for reentry, how much different it looked.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw a little bit of the plasma forming as they were starting to hit the atmosphere before the LOS, which was awesome. Champsing, integrity, good morning and welcome home. Thank you for your contribution to humanities science. Greetings from Taiwan. Cosmic was shouting out Alice from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Alice, despite the accent, in New Mexico. Bunny, thank you for providing so much information. Or is it data? I'll call it facts. Yes, facts.
Facts, no printer.
I was waiting for it. Thanks, Max.
I know. That's
Max
almost like I cannot believe. I just saw the clip today from Hagen. Hagen's the one who tweeted this. I cannot believe in the countdown yesterday. of like when Christina was counting down. You could literally see Reed behind Christina around a couple of certain numbers, which I'm not going to say. I
think Victor actually did it first during the mission.
Okay, but like, was that intentionally for those two numbers, or was that just like him explaining something and the motions just seem to line up? I don't know. Like, I would love to know. But
Apologies to our moderators.
She was doing a sort of like a, you know, when you try to sort of match the audio with the video, right?
Yep.
So she was doing a countdown, 10, 9, etc. And yeah, Reed went.
I cannot believe that footage exists. That's incredible.
Folks, we now officially... Brain rot has left the Earth.
Oh my God.
Brain rot has reached the moon.
He's got the Taylor things. I think it's from his kids, from his daughters.
His 2 daughters, yeah.
And everything, yeah.
You know, I would
and
love
he was even told about... I think it was during the launch coverage that we saw him introducing the tablet password, right? And somebody tweeted that out, and people were like, "Oh, we now know his password," and things like that. And
3939.
And then he was aware of that the other day. So I was like, "Oh, that must have been his daughters that you know told him, hey, they saw your password."
You know, one of the questions that I want to ask him, I know this is incredibly off topic and off the rails at the moment, but I want to ask him where he learned about, like, did he see that online or did his daughters tell him about that? And I don't know. I would love to ask him.
Of all the questions you could ask an astronaut that have
just that
returned
one.
from the
That's
moon.
it. That's the only one.
It's like they rigged already, Orion.
Looks like it.
Yep. Yeah, the crews have been working on that. And again, next up we'll be getting out that inflatable.
It's like they're taking a little bit more because of the waves and whatnot, but
yeah,
they have plenty of time.
You know what? Also, the waves actually don't look atrocious. Like, that water actually looks surprisingly pleasant, considering what else they could also be splashing around in right now. The water doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, especially considering that they committed to this splashdown 7-ish days ago.
Mm-hmm.
At the translunar injection burn was when they committed to splashing down. And yet, look at the conditions. It was great. Amazing. Felix saying, I hope we see more of Alice in the future. She is awesome. Don't worry, we will. She's great. Space Watcher gifting a Red Team membership. Angel Egg, God bless the crew. Safe landing, love the NSF crew. Wascally Wabbit saying, yes, my patch just arrived. Perfect timing. Watching from Kashmir, Washington. Chris, history in the making. NASA calls it controlled splashdown. The crew calls it praying the parachutes open on time, which they did.
There goes the raft. They're starting to deploy it.
Yes, the inflatable front porch. So hopefully we'll see the crew out on it shortly. And then we will see the helicopters come by and help lift them up and bring them back to the boat, the USS John P. Murtaugh. Let's see. Vissar, does NASA have the WB-57 to get reentry video? Yes, we saw some of it, which was cool. Kobe becoming a Red Team member. Zalavas, sucks the mission is coming to an end, but this has been one heck of a journey from start to finish. Yes, it has.
How old are these messages in support and whatnot?
A couple hours. We're getting there.
Oh boy!
I'm seeing more coming through.
Yeah.
Oh no! I can't.
We're very
I don't
behind.
have the panel open. Should I not open it?
I mean, it'll be Ryan Caton's problem in a bit. It's fine. He's good at reading through lots of messages, as we saw.
Nice. Perfect.
But yes, no, we appreciate all of the support from everyone coming through. Even just the thumbs ups in the streams are super helpful. We appreciate all of you watching and joining us, so thank you for that. Mad Biker, how does Artemis reentry compare to Shuttle? A lot steeper. Shuttle was very shallow.
In a way, it almost doesn't compare because they're complete opposites from what they were to each other, not just in reentry, but also just in terms of their vehicle design. Shuttle was a lifting body space plane, whereas Integrity, or Orion just in general, is a capsule styled very much like Apollo in terms of its shape. So they really could not be any more different.
Yep. Sherry, thank you for the support. Zildog, look at how flat that Earth is. Ha ha ha. Yes, we talked about the GoPros and everything there.
I thought it was the front porch. It's actually the stabilization collar. I just saw that it's going around the spacecraft. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that doesn't make sense. And then it clicked. It was like, okay, now I get it.
Sareed talking about when we were able to see the upper atmosphere there, officially in the low orbit altitude regime. Patrick Bob had gifted 50 Red Team memberships in there as well. Thank you, Patrick. Always a name we love seeing here. Great to see you. Wolf, I'm tearing up. My nerves are shot. Worried for the heat shield. Hey, it worked. Spoiler alert, it worked.
Spoiler alert, yeah, spoiler alert.
Peter pointing out there was the G5 plane tracking, converted hydrogen. Thanks, NSF, doing a terrific job. We try. Blissfully Blessed, thank you for the support. Corey gifting a Red Team membership. Blissfully Blessed also saying thank you that they're home. Jeremy Elwood, would have been more fun if YouTube stopped lagging live. We have no control over that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
James gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Appreciate that as well. Now I think we're finally catching up. Eric, welcome home, Integrity. Eric, one of our ops here at NSF. Good to see you on there. James with a $50 super chat saying, remember to tip your waiters, waitresses, and spaceflight presenters. Go NASA, go Artemis, and go NASA spaceflight. I like that. Thank you. Try the salmon. Prion Disease, thank you for becoming a Patrat member. Jeremy Elwood again. Hey, want to fly around the moon and then crash violently into the ocean? Yes, please. Well, it's semi-violent. It's about, like getting into a car crash at 30 miles an hour is what it kind of feels like from what I've heard.
It's not Soyuz smacking itself down on the Kazakh steppe, so.
Still not great, but yeah. Still going to be rough. But then again, anything after going from weightlessness for 10 days to 4Gs to hitting the water is going to be a bit rough.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's also why when Rob Navius was talking earlier about the crew being green, that's why I was like, green in the face or green as in go green?
I think Christina, she actually spent 9 months on the ISS, right? So
yep,
she's probably already well, and she also re-entered on a Soyuz.
That's and so did Reed, and so did Reed.
Yeah, Reed also came back on a Soyuz.
Victor is the only one who's been spoiled by Dragon.
On a Dragon. Yep. Soft splashdown.
Yeah, and then Jeremy on his first mission.
Yep. Yeah, right.
That's really crazy to go to the moon on your first mission.
Writing.
Anything after that, it's gonna be like, you want to go to the ISS? Yeah, all right.
It's fine. It's kind of like for those who were in town and saw Starship Flight 5 in person. That was their first ever launch. It's like, sorry, buddy. Like it's all downhill from there. Sorry to disappoint.
There we go. And take a look at this. A very happy NASA communications team at the Johnson Space Center reacting to the successful splashdown of Artemis II. Very cool. It's a photo from John Krause, who was a member of the media with us at one point now, taking photos for NASA, specifically with Jared Isaacman's team as well. So cool.
Yeah.
Zayfon, astronauts are green. If only they had a toilet. They had to shut it down in about a couple hours beforehand. Keith Jean, well done, NASA spaceflight guys, for your great commentary. We try. Trans1551 gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Space Pope, hey, it's Space Pope.
Hey,
the Space Pope is back. Good to see you. Saying praise be. I hope you're doing well. Cyphered it, saying no lawn darts on the front porch.
Yeah, we don't want those.
Wago Jones, cool landing, poor communications. Yeah, did you try the push to talk button?
Please
I bought
hold
2.
while we transfer you.
Yeah, I bought 2 of the landing t-shirts to help support NSF. Awesome, getting the new Splashdown merch too. That was really cool. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Which I see it the first time you guys do with this one, so it was really awesome to be like, oh, look at that. That's awesome. Random guy saying go NASA. Error theory for in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we are all inhabitants in this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal. Very nice. Stuart Little, been here since the beginning with you guys. Now I can breathe and maybe get some sleep. Welcome home, Integrity and crew. Got a bunch of guys about to turn blue here. We're breathing again.
Thanks a lot.
I thought they were green.
Oh, jeez. Alex.
Copy it down, integrity.
Integrity.
Because they said...
I know.
Copy it down, tranquility. So for those who don't know, yeah. That's why. And then Salim, thank you for the kind words there. Jerwa, what we really need to know now is, how's the chair?
Probably still there, honestly. Probably still there.
Wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, Jerwa, for the $20 super chat. And Vaughn saying, best moment ever. Yeah, I mean, I think we have a picture of the best moment ever that was tweeted out by the NASA administrator as well, of crew returning down and splashing down as we see them starting to inflate the stabilization collar there. And
You can see
there it
that
is.
front
There
porch.
Yep,
Wow.
front porch unfolding on the right, and then the image of the splashdown on the left. The words from NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman saying America's back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon and bringing them home safely. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy did an outstanding job. These talented astronauts inspired the world and represented their space agencies and nations as humanity's ambassadors to the stars. This was a test mission, the first crewed flight of SLS and Orion, pushing farther into the ungiving environment of space than ever before, and it carried real risk. They accepted that risk for all we stood to learn and for the exciting missions that follow, and we returned to the lunar surface, build a moon base, and prepare for what comes next. And they were not alone. The entire NASA workforce, our commercial and international partners, and the hopes and dreams of people all over the world were with them. The astronauts know it, and you should too. This mission would not have been possible without you. Congratulations, Artemis II. Mission accomplished.
Beautifully said.
Wow. So yeah, the front porch is unfolding.
Good news.
Yeah. Very important what the administrator said about the risk. We had a few questions, a lot of questions earlier in the mission, especially after the translunar injection, talking about, can they be rescued if something goes wrong? Is there something and it's like, nope, there's no rescue. You go to the moon and back. Basically, there's no way back also from re-entry. There's nope. You have to take that risk, and it's a risk worth taking because, what you get out of that is you've tested now a spacecraft that can go to the moon and back.
Mm-hmm.
You add a lander
Risk
to the
versus
equation.
reward.
Yep. You add the lander, and then you get to the lunar surface.
We see more teams starting to get out to the capsule there. Get that crew out finally and get them on board the ship. Seawage with a $50 super chat saying, You're not independent media. There are many fellow nerds right here. Thanks for the streams. Keith saying, how long do you think this will take? It's finally getting a little closer there. We're a little over an hour and 15 minutes since splashdown. But this is the first time they're doing it with people, so it's going to take a little extra time as they work everything out. Let's see. RGE, thanks for showing this. Watching from Raleigh, North Carolina. Matt becoming a PadRat member. Ravnet saying thanks for the coverage. Always love from Sweden. Love seeing all the people from all over the world being joined together for this one moment. 1X saying hi. Matt P, what Artemis mission is expected to actually land on the moon? Max, that is now set for Artemis 4.
Correct. Artemis 4. And that is, that may slip to Artemis 5 depending on how far they get with Artemis 3. But the current plan right now is outlined to be Artemis 4. So we will see how that timeline progresses. And Artemis 4, I believe, is currently scheduled for early 2028, pending a successful result on Artemis 3. So, which is currently itself in that second half of 2027, if not towards the end of 2027, which is next year. So, yeah, wow, beautiful. No way. Toria's daughter worked on Orion?
That's Tori
Yeah.
Bruno, formerly
way.
the CEO of ULA, and now with Northrop Grumman, or Blue Origin.
Blue
excuse
Origin.
me. Saying
Sawyer.
beautiful
It's very
Grand Prix
easy.
splashdown. My daughter worked on Orion. She's very excited right now, as is everyone who contributed to our initial return to the moon.
Hey.
Yeah, he also used to work on at Lockheed Martin as well.
Yes, he did.
So, and Lockheed Martin was the one that built the Orion crew capsule.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I was gonna mention Max, because we were talking about that change in plans, right?
Yep.
Apollo also did a bunch of changes in their mission plans, right?
Yep. They sure did.
Apollo 8 was originally being the lunar module test flight and things like that. Instead, they said, it's late, so we'll go to the moon. And Apollo 8 went all the way to the moon, right? And then Apollo 9 was the lunar module test flight. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
And there's the front porch in all of her glory.
All of her inflatable glory. So hopefully we will see the crew make their way out. Of course, the setting sun a little making the lighting a bit tough here. It is
Yeah.
6:24 p.m. local time off the coast of California there. So right around sunset. This is cool to watch. I know there we go. I think we're back.
There we go.
There we go. 5x5s. Beautiful.
Nice.
Apologies about that. Call it our own teacher's hand over there.
Yeah. Forward link LOS, right?
Did we try pressing push to talk? Like when they were trying to get the communications up earlier with the divers. There
It's
you go.
because
Now
we
can
didn't
see-
did the beep.
Yeah. Now you can see the all the teams out there getting ready to get the astronauts out from the capsule onto that little inflatable raft there. Again, it's called the front porch, lovingly, by NASA.
Yep. I think they were also taking the inflatable vests, I think, that they're going to be using with the crew.
Yep, and then don't worry, there will be room for the astronauts. I see people saying, but there's no room for them. There's plenty of room for them. But yeah, this is so cool. People are asking about that blinking light.
Yep,
that is...
Yep.
Yeah, it's part of a locating beacon, right?
I believe so. I would say that
Oh
it
my
looks
God.
all... What?
Because Rob Nabby is in Houston in Mission Control Center. He's basically having to yell over the crowds in Houston right now,
Really?
cheering and celebrating at Mission Control Center.
Safely to Earth.
That's awesome.
So all of that jubilation, part of the post-splashdown activities, even as we await the crew being extracted from the vehicle to be hoisted onto Navy helicopters for the trip back to the USS John P. Murtha.
You could hear it behind Rob Navius there.
Just imagine when they begin pulling the crew members out and how loud that mission control room is going to get.
Oh,
They should be very
yeah.
proud.
Oh, 100%.
Of course, not just Houston, also KSC, all of the teams in general, but they have been monitoring the mission basically those more than 9 days since liftoff.
Every NASA center across the country, the Canadian Space Agency, all of the members of the European Space Agency, all should be proud.
Yep.
And in addition to all of the other contractors, the Lockheeds, the Northrop Grummons, the Airbuses, all of them.
Wow, look at that. How many people there are.
And the full gallery behind them, too.
So many
yeah.
happy faces. Wow.
Amazing seeing them all just
That's so
uniting of humanity.
That's so refreshing. Like, we needed this.
By the way, Rob Navius is like all the way to the right. He's still sitting down.
Oh, is that him right there? In the all the way in the right? Okay.
Yep, that's PO console.
Yeah, poor Rob's still over there.
Yeah.
Look at that view. It looks like someone green screened that on, but it's not. Those are live views in Mission Control Houston of the recovery vessels.
It gives off Apollo vibes. I'm just sorry about it, but it really gives off that vibe.
Yeah, although fewer cigars this time.
Yeah. More phones. Way more.
Yeah. Fewer cigars, fewer flags, but still. And continuing to wait for the crew to egress or get out of the capsule. And then once they're out, there will be 2 different helicopters that will grab them, 2 per chopper. The person closest to the hatch, by the way, is Mission Specialist 1, Christina Cook. It was very likely that we will see her as the first one out. I see orange. Is that a crew member out?
Judging by the clapping. Yeah.
Jubilation here in the flight control room. The first crew member is out of integrity.
Wow. If they're going by the plan, that should be Christina.
Yep.
Yeah, she was closest to the hatch. And we'll see if, I believe Victor Glover should be next.
That looks like Christina.
And here comes the next person. That looks like Victor.
Yep.
You could see the reflection off the bald head.
Relatable.
Yeah, you will know.
Oh my goodness. The first time out of that spacecraft in almost 10 days. Right now.
And that should be followed after that by Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
The cheering behind. Wow.
And the other good news for the crew, in just a short amount of time, they will be able to use a real bathroom again. No more blizzards that we get to see at the spacecraft window. So yeah, next should be Jeremy Hansen, Mission Specialist 2, and then the last person off will be Commander Reed Weissman.
Quite epic. Commander last.
My gosh. Like,
Sorry,
I don't
just being quiet. Just can't find the words right now.
I don't know. This is so poetic. Here comes Jeremy.
There he is.
It's so poetic and just perfect to be exiting in this light. It's like a movie right now. That's what this kind of feels like. Oh my gosh.
Wow. And then Reed will be the last one out. And then, again, the commander, always the captain, is the last one off the ship. Commander will be the last one off the capsule. Look at them just sitting there, ready and waiting to be picked up by the helicopter. And with the crew,
Here he comes.
now just about out. There we go.
There's Reed. I bet he's also. I wish we could see his just how big his smile is right now.
I mean, I see a reflection in the camera. I think that must be his smile and his teeth. Integrity now empty for the first time in almost 10 days. And as we now wait for the helicopter to grab them, that concludes my time with you here, but the broadcast is not ending. We will continue to wait for the crew to get picked up and recovered. So in the meantime, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Ryan Caton to take you the rest of the way home. Ryan, first off, I have to say, amazing job to this crew of 4. You really have set humanity forward and are hopefully the starting off point on our return to the moon, to Mars, and to the stars. Reed, Jeremy, Victor, Christina, thank you for all you've done for spaceflight, and may this be the first of many. Thank you all for watching with us. Ryan Caton, continue the stream.
Yeah, the way you started that sentence almost made it sound like you were saying that to me for a second there, Sawyer, and I was going to be like, oh, thank you, very kind words, but you addressed it to the crew instead, which, you know, is also okay. But thank you, Sawyer, so much for all of your hard work today. We are continuing our live coverage of the recovery of Artemis II splashing down. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it's been a little while now. They've been bobbing in the Pacific Ocean as we continue to watch the crew exit Integrity for the first time in just over 9 and a bit days. I mean, just look at that. I don't think they could have asked for better weather if they could. I mean, it's just beautiful skies, beautiful waves or lack thereof. It's just, you know, stunning. Probably, I'm not sure if the waters are that warm in that specific part of the Pacific Ocean, but fingers crossed the helicopters are not too far away to pick them up. And also just look at that. That is a beautiful spacecraft. You know, we all love Shuttle. Dragon is great. Soyuz is classic. But that just looks so awesome. Just look at Orion. Toasty after re-entry.
And the sharing there that you can see is not even, you know, we saw that on Crew Dragon, right? Oh, there we go. All 4 crew members there with the orange vest. The back heat shield, as it's called, right? There's the main heat shield at the bottom, and then the back heat shield, the one that sort of covers the other parts of the capsule. That is actually thermal tiles, just like on the shuttle. So which it means that it's basically reusable, right? The sharing that you see there is actually from a protecting film that they use for when it's out in space, and that one, of course, jars and sort of ablates, right? But the main heat shield, those tiles are basically a heritage from the shuttle. It's like it's super cool because they're using that, and
You want to know what is also super cool? We have some photos downlinked from the International Space Station because, as you know, we were looking live from the ISS for re-entry. We couldn't see anything during re-entry. Our cameras were maybe just a little bit too wide with our friends over at CEN. But NASA astronaut Chris Williams has just posted on social media that they saw the Artemis II crew re-enter the atmosphere from the International Space Station. And as, you know, there is no way I can comprehend this, but to see your colleagues re-entering in front of you from the ISS, I mean, the timing couldn't have worked out better. You know, this April 1st launch has really given us a solar eclipse around the backside of the moon, a daylight launch, and now the International Space Station watching re-entry from low Earth orbit. This launch window just keeps on delivering. It's just incredible they managed to get this thing off the ground.
And daylight splashdown, because they also had the possibility that perhaps, you know, in some of the other launch times, they might have had a nighttime splashdown, which ironically they also removed that constraint. Originally it was a constraint, but they also removed that so they could have more launch opportunities. Otherwise, some of the launch opportunities would essentially be removed from their calendar. They said, you know what, let's take the risk. Maybe Orion will just need to do it in nighttime, you know, because for a first time operation, you mostly want to be in daylight, right? But they have also training in nighttime conditions, and so they were ready to do that. They didn't need that, and so that's good.
I'm still like gobsmacked by these views of Orion at sunset. I mean, it's just so pretty.
Do you think they have recovered already, Rise, the zero-G indicator?
I
don't know.
So. I mean,
I wonder
you
if
put on a vest too on Rise.
I wonder if one of the crew members came out of Orion like holding it. I don't know.
If there was a crew member to do that, I would place my bets on Christina Cook. But I hope they've gotten Rise, because if not, Rise might get a little bit soggy, and I'm not sure if Rise would appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be unfortunate for sure.
Let's also not forget that inside of Rise is the SD card, which has the 5 million odd names, including my name, which, you know, submitted to fly around the moon on Artemis II. So I wouldn't want that SD card getting corroded either. So